So yeah, thank you for chatting again.
No
And
problem.
it's been a while. Um,
It's been
so
a couple months. February or January?
February,
February,
February.
I was gonna say. Yeah. Although
Yeah,
in that period of time, it's been a few months, but weirdly, it feels like the longest couple of months, but also that it's gone by very quickly. It's the pandemic's kind of really destroyed my sense of time, and I think a lot of people's senses of time, where it's just like feels like the longest period, but it's just like, oh, it's already it's already 2021. Holy crap.
I know it's been more than a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Just 14 months since everything started closing down. And it was nice when the weather got warmer, but this spring is going on way too long. It feels
Yeah.
like it's already mid-May and it's still just in the single low degrees at night, like 1 or 2 degrees.
Yeah, it's cold, kind of rainy, very damp feeling, which
Yeah.
is
But
not the best. I mean, I know we're not allowed, or we're not supposed to be, venturing outside to see people outside, but man, I cannot wait for when the cases go down and the weather gets nicer and we can, maybe see about being able to even just do like, I've been dying to have people over just to sit on the porch even and like socially
yeah,
distance and just have a couple of beers on the porch or in someone's backyard, not necessarily like be inside, but you can't even really do that right now because all the variants going around. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, man. I was looking into just COVID in Ontario and London. There's so many variants in London. You have the what is it, the UK, South African, Brazilian, and the Indian one, which is just going crazy.
Oh, we have the South African one already.
I think so.
Do we?
I don't have the numbers of how many. This might be in Ontario, maybe not London.
Okay, I was gonna say I haven't looked at the health unit dashboard since Friday, so it's like it's very possible that we've seen a South African one. I'll check. Me.
Hmm.
We've seen most of ours are the UK one. We've seen 1,924 as of our conversation.
Hmm.
Uh, of that, there's only uh, all but 17 are the variant from the UK. There's
Oh,
16
okay.
that are the Brazilian one, and then there's one of the one that was found in India, which
Uh,
that's it's one of the I think the double mutation variant, which is causing a whole horror, just a nightmare over in India.
yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah, man. I have a lot of family in the South India, and
No.
a lot of them like cousins and their parents, basically. So some of them have got COVID and recovered. Some of them have COVID and are recovering. Some of them
Yeah.
got the vaccine, but it's I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty horrifying to see some of this stuff coming out of there.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, in London, it's I don't know. It's not too bad. I mean, I know some people have got the vaccine, but I don't know anyone who had it terribly here. I know there are a lot of cases and
Mm-hmm.
deaths, but it's nowhere near Toronto and some of the other hotspots.
Yeah.
I think the western area is a hotspot in London, like Richmond area, where it was, right?
It was for a couple of weeks. It was for I think 2 weeks and and maybe mid to early to mid April. It was the region postal, because they all the data set up by I guess postal like forward sortation area like N6A. But it was
Yeah.
the one. It was the postal area with the I guess the highest test positivity rate in Ontario for a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
It was like 30% or close to or thereabouts, which was higher than regions in like Toronto and Peel and stuff like that. But that was around the time that we were seeing like a lot of cases involving like Western age students, like people between 18 and
Yeah.
22. Um, and like there was like 8 outbreaks at Western in student residences. There was only one as of I think Friday, so it's died down because all the students have gone home. and now
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what N6A is at now, but it's way down the list now, because it was pretty an odd couple weeks where it was real bad in N6A, and then now it's not so much now, but still obviously a concern. But
Yeah, one weird thing was, right now we're in the Ontario lockdown. I don't know what the exact terminology is, but until it's like a stay-at-home order.
yeah,
And I believe this is the third one. And what's weird is during the first two, most of the time, if I go to Walmart to buy groceries, they had other stuff you could buy, but all of a sudden you could only buy groceries there. And I presume it's because smaller grocery stores had problems with that, or small businesses had problems saying, well, you guys can sell other stuff more than food. How come we can't do it? So if that's the case, I understand, but it's just inconvenient. It's like, it's right there.
yeah.
Can I just buy this medicine ball? I mean, it would kind of help me work out and stay fit. So yeah, that was
Because
a weird thing.
that was something they're doing in Manitoba for a period. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were last year. I remember seeing the story about it, where because they were worried about people going to Costco and going to Walmart and stuff and buying just like stuff they didn't need, like just like walking out with TVs and stuff and other, assorted whatever.
Yeah.
And I think because it's just like you go to the store and it'd be like a zillion people there. And it's like, I wonder how many people are here buying stuff that they could have just bought online, or like that they really don't need, like something that isn't necessary. And so I think that was sort of the thinking behind it, was just like cut down on the crowds if at all possible. But
yeah, it's it sounds like there isn't really a good solution, because I mean, for people who were used to shopping there, it's annoying because you can't buy stuff anymore. For small businesses, it must be good because it's kind of more even, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. But so how how do you go about getting all the COVID info? I mean, obviously Ontario updates its website. I'm guessing London has its own, like the health unit has its own website, but is that the primary source, or do you like talk to people, or is it just the press conferences that are shown on TV?
It's a mix of stuff. Like I do the roundup for our area. So I do us in Elgin, Oxford, because that's one health unit. Huron Perth is another one. And then Lambton County is its own health unit. So it's basically just going to each of the health units' websites and sort of compiling and comparing the numbers. Like I have a zillion pinned tabs open on my internet browser that I just have two of each sometimes, where it's like once for that day and once for the day before, so I can just easily compare the numbers and how they change. But that's kind of it. And then whenever they have the briefings and if any news releases come out or that kind of thing, really. Yeah, there are some like provincial data sets that the province has put up on their data catalog about like outbreaks for in jails and like long-term care home kind of stuff that I look at a lot. But it's really just keeping a zillion tabs open and just switching and updating and seeing if anything, making sure that the data I have is up to date.
Your control tab, control T keys must be like fading the letters on there.
I have very little open like tab space for new tabs. It's like the pinned tabs take up like half of the screen almost on the top. So it's like, it'll be a major change once the pandemic is sort of gone for the most part, or as gone as it can be, where I can sort of get rid of those tabs. And it's like, wow, I have all this space now. Because right now it's very cluttered. So
and the laptop's not whirring like crazy, heating up, making fan noises.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like how I mean, it's always sort of the main point of conversation during the pandemic is like, how have you been during the pandemic? And it's like, but I mean, like in the couple months that we've talked, what have you been up to?
Let's see. So since February, it's been March, April, and May, 3 months. So yeah, I again, it was so I've been looking for a job for months now, and after our last chat, things were going pretty well. I had a hand, like maybe two or three interviews, and one company in particular, well, I thought the preliminary interview was good. They were kind of busy dealing with the effects of COVID for their business.
Yeah.
And last month, I got an email, and they said, "All right, so we're gonna start looking back into this position now. We were kind of busy." But pretty much right after I got that email, this lockdown happened. So
Mm.
since this lockdown began, I haven't had any interview. So my guess is it's hard. They're not interviewing because of the lockdown.
Yeah.
But a lot of jobs are there anyway. They get posted every day.
Mm.
One time I shortlisted 5 or 6 of them, and I went through my applications, and all 6 of them had been reposted. So I just removed all of them again because some companies, they've just been posting the same job for over a
Yeah.
year, and I've applied to some of them more than once. So yeah, I've been doing job apps, trying to stay fit. So this month I developed a fitness circuit. It's like push-ups, sit-up, or not sit-ups, push-ups, burpees, planks. It's a
Nice.
set of 5 to 10 exercises, and it takes about 6.5 minutes to complete. So I'm trying to do that every day. Today's the 9th. So I think I've done 7 out of 8 days until yesterday. But it really hurts my legs. So I gotta kind of figure out how do I do it every day, but also recover the next day.
Make it so you can still walk.
Yeah, basically. I think like it's fine. I can walk around and do everything. It's just I'm just in a terrible mood all day because like something hurts, but I don't realize it. And then I can't figure out why I'm being such a rude person until the end of the day. Yeah. So just keeping busy, watching movies. What you've been working from home? What else have you been up to?
Mostly that. Just
Yeah.
I don't really leave the apartment very much other than to get some exercise and go for walks and go for bike rides and whatever. That's kind of my main method of exercise now. But no, but yeah, pretty much just same as you. Just like I said before we started recording, just like patiently waiting for vaccines to become available. Oh my god, so close. Like a week and a half away, I think, from being eligible to get the vaccine in Ontario. So it's sort of what's been preoccupying a lot of my my mind lately. Is just like the week of May 17th can't come soon enough.
Yeah, if you can get on a wait list through Rexall pharmacies. Because I tried to like register through the Ontario website, but they just have you go through a check, like you put in your postal code, and they say, "Oh, you're not eligible at this time." But if you go through the pharmacy, you can get shortlisted there, and then they're going to send you an email when there's a slot available, and you choose the slot that way.
Like for when you become eligible, or just like once you're already eligible, they'll put you on a short list kind of thing.
My understanding, so you go on the short list with the pharmacy set up, and my guess is that they will somehow book a bunch of time slots whenever you are eligible. So not right now for me, and then they'll forward those to their shortlisted people to choose a date. That's my guess, because I don't think I can directly get shortlisted through Ontario's website.
Yeah. We're also close. It's month of May or week of May 24th, and then everyone's eligible. to get the vaccine, or every adult's eligible to get the vaccine. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, the Americans definitely have us beat in terms of the vaccination department. A lot of people down there being like, I already got my second dose, and then
yeah.
well, good for you. I haven't gotten my first yet, but it's gonna be soon, in a month and a half, because that's the soonest appointment that was available. But yeah, better
So
better late than never, I guess. I mean, on the flip side, we could be getting vaccinated in July or August, so
yeah, I mean,
or
well, the
even
second
later.
shot will be like
Yeah,
around that time.
yeah.
Yeah. So I did want to ask you, so um, like, how do you put together your podcast episodes from like a software point of view? And like, yeah, I mean, what software do you use?
Just a Adobe Audition for the most part, just because
Oh,
it's the one that I've always used, just because I'm so used to Adobe
hmm.
products, and um, it and Premiere Pro for whenever I do video. The rare times that I do video stuff is Premiere Pro, because they're basically like the same. They're almost like the same product, like the same sort of style and layout, but just one is audio and one's video. So it's very easy to transfer the skills from one to the other. But yeah, it's Adobe Audition for the most part, and then I use a little USB audio um, interface that I bought last year to record into a microphone for the voiceovers. Just like a
Oh, that's crazy.
little
Okay.
Focusrite box. Yeah,
Because yeah, I've only heard your playlists on Spotify. I never actually listened to your recorded version of it. So that's cool.
yeah,
I didn't know there were voiceovers. I'll check that out.
yeah. I do. I do very minimal talking, because I think I used to talk too much in the old podcast episodes. I kind of
Mhm.
realized that it's just like people don't hear me yakking about about. It's kind of negates the purpose of the about the podcast. It's like 30 minutes of music. Well, it's not really 30 minutes if like 7-8 minutes of that is eaten up by talking. So I try to keep it
Oh,
minimal.
it's the same formula as sitcom. It's a 30-minute show. It's like a 22-minute show and 8 minutes of
That,
commercials.
that's right. That's true. So
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
do you do you go into the software and kind of blend the volumes and everything and balance it out, or is it just for adding the voiceover? And
I try to like do transitions and stuff just to make it a bit more interesting, so it's not sort of like just a one by one playlist kind of thing. But yeah, it's very simple. Like it's not it's yeah, very low skill low skill, and to be completely honest, it's not that yeah, it's pretty much just different tracks and songs, and that's sort of like timing them out so the transition sounds good or sort of works interesting for the particular song. That's kind of, yeah.
mm, yeah,
I
I
haven't made one in
mean,
a while. It's been a couple months actually. I haven't made one in a actually probably it's probably been longer than that. So
oh yeah.
I better get on that.
Yeah, I've been doing a monthly playlist, and so I did one for this month already. But the way I'm approaching the June one is in May. I'll just like whatever songs I listen to, whatever it's like, oh, that's a cool song. I'll just
Yeah.
build up a a rough playlist of whatever 30 or 40 songs, and then
Yeah.
go through them and just figure out, oh yeah, these two kind of are similar. This one doesn't really fit the vibe, and then just kind
Yeah.
of cut it down until you get one nice thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the ones I've done so far, it kind of moves like a story of pace, maybe is a good word for it. Like the last songs are usually acoustic or chill.
Yeah.
First one is whatever, like something to grab your attention. Like for one of them, it was the good, bad, and the ugly theme, because
Mm.
everyone knows that theme. And then
Yeah.
you kind of build to like a peak of pop, I guess, and then it kind of dwindles down. So
Yeah.
it's fun to play around with it.
Yeah. It's an interesting medium. A lot of people have podcasts now. It's
Yeah, I know.
everyone and their grandma has a podcast. It's pretty
It's
crazy.
fun. I probably told you this already, but one employer told me, like, we were doing the interview and she was just like, "Can I tell you a secret? I listened to your podcast." It's like, "Oh, cool." She's like, "Yeah, you should keep doing it." So that was nice to hear.
Yeah. It's always good to, like, yeah, because sometimes you make them almost in a vacuum and it's like, do people actually listening to this? I know you post the pictures and stuff on Instagram, so you sort of get some feedback that way. But otherwise it's probably just like, I guess people are liking it and listening to it, but it's always different when you hear it like out of someone's mouth and sort of like them telling you. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa, okay. It's kind of surprising
Yeah.
sometimes.
So are all of yours just you, or have you had guests in the past?
All but one have been me. There's one from, I think, 2014 or 15 where I had my buddy Colin Kieran on for a podcast, and he basically just came over and we cracked some beers, and I had like a second microphone and we basically just recorded it and put it together. So we've been meaning to do that again. I wanted to do one. I actually wanted to do one like sort of during the pandemic, because Zoom makes it so easy to like do it. Like, you can just like bring up a conversation, but I think we're gonna wait until we can do it in person, because then we can just like hang out after and have some beers and sort of hang out. So
that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean, we need to do more guest things, because it's like, otherwise it's like, it's all just me otherwise. So it's like, why don't I bring people on and other, like, my friends on and stuff, and be like, oh, what songs are you sort of getting into and stuff lately, and play those.
If you need a guest, I'm available. I'll do it.
All right. I gotta actually start making the podcast. I feel like I put one out every 5 months lately, because just like I don't have the energy to do it. Even as limited as easy as they are to relatively put together, it's just like I don't have the motivation to do it. I just want to like do nothing on weekends after dealing with COVID all week. So it's like, yeah.
Okay. I have the opposite problem. I'm always trying to do too many things. And
hey, well, that's the better thing, because then like it's better to be more productive, because I'm just like, I just want to veg out, and then I regret it later, and it's just like, I didn't get anything done. I had all this stuff I wanted to do and I did nothing. I sat outside and like, sat on the couch and just sort of like in a sort of lazy state and just didn't do anything. But I mean, sometimes it's necessary, but man, it's hard to do that on a 2-day weekend where it's like, 2 days is like 3-day weekend. I wish we had 3-day weekends, man.
Well, we have a year-long weekend basically. It's a bit much.
Yeah, hard to have the feelings about the weekends where it's just like every day's kind of feels the same, and it's like,
but thanks for chatting.
No problem.
Get going. This time I won't cut you off, so if you have something to say, you can go ahead and say.
I don't have anything. No. What happened last time? I can't remember what happened last time.
I think you just said something like, thanks for having me, and I think I just cut you off in the middle.
Oh, okay. So it's like that, and then
exactly.
Okay. Or it's like people watching at home. It's like, you didn't even say thanks.
That's one critique I've got. It's my one of my friends says, bro, you need an ending. Like, it just ended and I didn't even know.
It's hard to close. It's hard to close these things. You gotta that's the hard thing about trying to end like a conversation. It's just like, you gotta find that lull where it's sort of like the conversation winds down on its own. But it's always hard to do that, because you don't want to make it seem awkward or sort of like forced, or But
no, I just need an outro song. I just haven't gotten around to like recording something on the guitar.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, before you cut me off again, Thanks for having me. It's always nice to talk to you and
Yeah.
talk COVID and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.